Hi everyone, welcome back. Here is lesson 2 for your birdhouse. Now today we're going to be sanding. Materials that you need, you're going to need all 7 pieces of the wood provided in your kit. You're going to need the piece of wood which is labeled sanding block as well. What I learned after is that it might be easier with a smaller piece of wood for a sanding block. So if you do have another option for this, please feel free to use it. As well, if you have a palm sander or a different sort of sander at home, you're welcome to use this instead of the sandpaper provided. It definitely makes it easier. I did provide 2 different levels of sandpaper. One is a 40, which has a very coarse grit on it. You can see most of them have a 40 on the back. The other one is 100. Now this is a medium grit sandpaper. We're going to use it after we use the coarse one, and it's just going to give us a softer, finer finish. Okay, so please make sure you have gloves with you. It's a beautiful day outside, so I don't feel that I need a mask or anything for that. Make sure you're wearing some comfortable clothing that you don't mind getting a little bit dirty, because you never know how dirty you're going to get. So what you need to do is you're going to start again with the 40, the really coarse sandpaper, and just simply wrap it around your sanding block. All right, now this block here is just going to create a little bit of support and stability when you're sanding. You're going to do each piece with the 40 first, and then you're going to go back and you're going to do each piece with the 100. Okay, right now our wood is really textured. It could cause a lot of slivers. It maybe doesn't have a nice finished look to it. So after we sand it, it's going to be a lot smoother, a lot more finished, and probably not even cause any slivers. So we want to have it ideally there. All right. Again, as I suggested, it might take a little bit of time. This isn't really everyone's favorite task, but it is a task that we need to do. And quite honestly, you'll be happy with the effects after. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to demo just one piece with the 40 and the 100 going with the grain. However, you'll notice there's lots of ridges on here, so you can feel free to go against the grain with the ridges. I do believe this is from the chainsaw cut or the planer when the wood was originally treated. Let's go ahead and get started. Now I finished sanding all 7 parts, again using first the 40 and then the 100 sandpaper. You can see that my sandpaper is still intact. The very last thing that I would like you to sand would be the hole for the front. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're actually, so I've already sanded this, that's why I don't have gloves on right now. I've sanded everything, so there's really little chances of getting any slivers at this point. But what you're going to want to do with that hole is you really want to get rid of the slivers and any wood sticking out, because that's going to catch on the birds as they come and go. So what I did is I kind of just rounded this and rubbed it around, right? So you can see it inside. Some people actually make sanding blocks in a circular shape to make this really easy, but that's not necessary. This might, I say do this last because this might actually wreck the sandpaper. Okay, I had it ripped before, so then you won't be able to use it much after that. But what you're going to do is you're just going to rub it around. You could get your finger in there, and you just want to take away some of that rough bit. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth, okay? So again, you can sand as much as you like. What's really important is that you leave the inside, or you make the inside nice and soft. You want to make sure that there's, again, nothing that's going to catch on the birds, because this is where they're going to be nesting, so you want to make it a really nice home for them. The rest is just aesthetically how you want it to look. So I have sanded each of the 7 pieces here. With some of these gray pieces, you'll notice that the color changes. So it's actually gotten rid of some of that weathered stain or color change that's happened over time with the fence wood. Again, it's super soft. I have no worries of slivers, so it's really nice to be able to go gloves free on this. Some other notes. Really important here, okay, I might have to put it into the notes at the beginning, is that on the, again, so your piece with the hole, which is the front, on the inside, just below the hole, you want to leave this spot nice and rough, okay? I'm definitely going to have to add this into the beginning. Why you leave it rough is so that when the birds are trying to climb back out of the birdhouse, they can actually use kind of the little bit of ridges to help get themselves out. So some of yours, I actually used a small saw to create that rough look. Some of them, it was really rough already just because that's how the wood was, the quality of the wood when I received it. I didn't have to saw that down at all. So leave this part rough, okay? We'll say like a third of the house just below the hole on the inside of the front piece, leave rough, okay? So you'll also note that all pieces have a blue piece of tape on them, and this tells us what piece it is, which direction is up, and what is the inside and the outside, okay? Remember that the blue tape is on the outside of the piece, so if you see a blue sticker on here where it used to be, that means it's facing outward of your birdhouse, okay? Now, if you can remember which piece is which, can't get that word, you don't need to keep these stickers, but if you're gonna forget which piece is which, you're just gonna wanna put those stickers back on or some way to keep clear back on when you're done sanding, okay? Please make sure you sand as much as you like before you put it together, which will be lesson number 3. As well, I did a nice job here of running along the edges. So there's a tool called a router, which would round the edges. But what we've done here, I've just softened it so it's not going to scratch anyone. It's not going to hurt anyone. Certainly, lots of the sanding is just for you. The inside is for the birds. And that's about it. All right, make sure you clean your spot when you're done. Sandpaper, if it's still good, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can burn it, recycle it, whatever you like, throw it in the garbage. And I will see you next lesson for putting it together. Bye for now.